Church, I need you to lean in right now, because what you're going through isn't just pain, it's purpose. That toxic relationship, that manipulative friend, that self-absorbed boss, you thought it was a mistake. You thought it was punishment. But God said, no, 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 I placed you there on assignment. You keep asking God, why me? But heaven is asking, why not you? You see, God doesn't waste storms, and he doesn't assign battles to people who can't win them. That narcissist didn't come into your life to break you. They came so God could build something inside of you. Patience, discernment, strength, boundaries, anointing. You're assigned, not abandoned. That's the truth you need to grab hold of when everything around you feels like rejection, confusion, and betrayal. When you find yourself tangled up in the chaos of a narcissist's life, you might start to wonder, where's God in all this? But the presence of trouble is not the absence of God. In fact, it may be the evidence that God is closer than ever because he put you right there on purpose. See, when God has a purpose for your life, he doesn't just put you in comfortable places. He puts you in places that stretch you, places that challenge the very core of who you are. And sometimes, that assignment looks like a narcissist, someone who twists the truth, feeds on control, manipulates emotions, and constantly puts themselves first. Someone who drains your energy, questions your worth, and makes you feel small. You think, why would God allow this? Why would he put me in this mess? But the truth is, you are not at that place because God forgot you. You are there because he trusted you. God doesn't send his strongest soldiers to the easy places. He sends them into environments where his light is needed most. And the narcissist's life is often full of brokenness masquerading as confidence. Behind that inflated ego is a soul in desperate need of a savior, but God knew they wouldn't listen to a sermon, they wouldn't pick up a Bible, they wouldn't come to church. So he sent you living, breathing, walking evidence of God's grace. He sent a person, not a program. He sent a presence that carries heaven's authority into a room full of emotional warfare. Being assigned doesn't always feel like victory. Sometimes it feels like survival. You question your worth. You question your sanity. You question your strength. But what you don't see is what God sees. You were made for this. You've been equipped. Heaven tailored this assignment with your name on it because you carry something inside of you that the narcissist wasn't ready for but desperately needed. It's not about changing them. It's about God working through you. It's about becoming someone who knows how to stand in truth without being shaken, someone who knows how to love without losing themselves, someone who can shine without shrinking. And while the narcissist tries to control the narrative, tries to make you feel like you're not enough, tries to gaslight your reality, God is using every moment to reveal your true identity. You are not the problem. You are the breakthrough. The storm you're walking through is proof of the authority you carry. The enemy wouldn't fight you this hard if there wasn't something powerful in your life. You are a disruptor to the dysfunction. You are the calm in their chaos. You are the mirror they didn't ask for but can't ignore. And yes, you cry. Yes, you doubt. Yes, you want to walk away. But even in your weakest moments, God is right there, whispering, I placed you here. I assigned you here. I didn't forget about you. I trusted you. He trusted you to stand tall in an atmosphere designed to break you. He trusted you to speak truth in a house built on lies. He trusted you to model real love where manipulation tried to masquerade as affection. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are on divine assignment. Assignment doesn't always come with applause. It comes with warfare. But heaven backs you. Every tear you cry is seen. Every prayer you whisper is heard. And every day you stand in that hard place, God is building something in you that can't be taught in comfort. This assignment is growing you, stretching you, molding you into someone who knows their worth, who knows their calling, and who knows how to walk away whole when the assignment is over. You didn't end up there by accident. You're not being punished. You've been positioned. God didn't abandon you to the narcissist. He sent you on mission. And the mission may be messy, but the outcome is glory. Pain is a tool, not a trap. It may not feel like it when you're in the middle of it, when your heart is shattered, your mind is exhausted, and your spirit is questioning everything. But pain has a purpose. It's not there to imprison you, it's there to prepare you. God doesn't allow pain to torment you. He allows it to transform you. When you deal with a narcissist, pain is part of the package. The lies, the manipulation, the emotional withdrawal, the gaslighting, it chips away at your sense of reality. It leaves you feeling like you're walking on glass, constantly questioning your decisions, your worth, even your sanity. And you cry out, God, why? You wonder how long you have to stay in this cycle of confusion. But what if that pain is working something greater inside of you? See, the enemy wants to convince you that pain is a prison, that the longer you sit in it, the more you lose. But God says, no, I'm using this. I'm using this pressure to reveal your power. I'm using this heartbreak to deepen your discernment. I'm using this betrayal to build your boundaries. Pain doesn't just show you who they are, it reveals who you are. It exposes your strength. It brings your hidden resilience to the surface. It pushes you to seek God in ways you never would have in comfort. You don't grow on the mountaintop, you grow in the valley. You grow in the late nights where you're crying but still praying. You grow when you learn to protect your peace without becoming bitter. You grow when you choose healing instead of revenge. That pain isn't burying you, it's planting you. And what God plants, He waters. What He waters, He brings to life. Even Jesus learned obedience through suffering. If pain had a purpose for the Son of God, then it surely has a purpose for you. The narcissist may have tried to use pain to control you, but God is using that same pain to free you, to show you what real love looks like, to teach you how to love yourself the way He loves you fully, fiercely, without compromise. Pain teaches, it purifies, it clarifies, it makes you stop and evaluate not just where you are, but who you are becoming. It sharpens your spiritual senses. It exposes what you've tolerated too long. It leads you back to the truth of who God says you are chosen, worthy, strong, and whole. So don't run from the pain. Don't hide from it. Lean into it with the knowledge that it's not your enemy, it's your chisel. God is using it to carve something beautiful out of the broken. Pain isn't there to trap you in your past, it's there to thrust you into your future. You're not stuck, you're being shaped. And when it's over, you'll realize you didn't just survive it. You became through it. Your presence exposes what the ego hides. That's why it feels so heavy when you're around a narcissist. That's why the atmosphere shifts when you walk into the room. That's why they act irritated, threatened, or dismissive without you ever saying a word. It's not because you're doing something wrong, it's because you're being challenged as their mask. See, narcissists thrive on illusion. They build a false image layer by layer of who they want people to believe they are. They rely on control, manipulation, charm, and self-centered narratives to maintain that image. They hide behind pride, deflect accountability, and demand admiration to cover their deep insecurity. And then you show up not with a weapon, not with anger, but with truth, with peace, with authenticity. And suddenly the image they've been protecting starts to shake. You didn't ask for this role, but you were chosen for it. Your presence carries light, and light exposes what's been hiding in the dark. You carry clarity so their confusion doesn't work on you the way it works on others. You carry grace so their guilt trips can't pin you down. You carry discernment so their charm doesn't seduce you like it did the rest. And that makes them uncomfortable not because you're wrong, but because you're real. Narcissists don't want truth, they want control. They don't want connection, they want compliance. And when you refuse to bend to their emotional demands, you become a threat. Not because you're trying to tear them down, but because your existence reminds them of everything they're trying to hide. Your honesty reflects their manipulation. Your empathy reveals their coldness. Your boundaries highlight their overreach. You become a mirror they never wanted but can't seem to break. And that mirror makes them restless. They try to distort your image so they don't have to face their own. They try to make you doubt yourself, question your intentions, apologize for things you didn't do, because if they can shift the focus onto you, they can avoid looking at them. That's the game: deflect, project, deny. But even as they twist the narrative, something inside them knows deep down they see you. They see your stability, your strength, your refusal to crumble. And it rattles the illusion they've worked so hard to protect. Your presence carries conviction, even if you're not preaching. Just by standing in truth, you challenge their fantasy. That's why they try to minimize you, discredit you, shame you. They know they can't control you, so they try to silence you. But the more they try to suppress your voice, the more your presence speaks. You don't have to shout to be powerful. You don't have to argue to win. You just have to keep standing unshaken, unmoved, undiminished. It's not about being perfect. It's about being genuine. Realness has a power that performance can't match. When you show up as your true self, it exposes every lie they've built around who they want to be, and they hate it. But it's necessary, not for their comfort, but for your calling. You weren't sent to validate their ego. You were sent to carry truth. Maybe not to change them, but to reveal something. Maybe even just to plant a seed that one day in their quiet moments they'll have to wrestle with. Or maybe you were sent so you could see clearly. So you'd stop second-guessing yourself. So you'd finally understand that their behavior isn't about your lack, it's about their fear of exposure. So don't dim your light to make them comfortable. Don't silence your truth to preserve their fantasy. You're not responsible for how your presence disturbs their illusion. You're responsible for guarding your peace and honoring your truth. And if your presence rattles the room, maybe the room was built on lies. Keep showing up in truth. Keep walking in grace. Keep being you fully, boldly, unapologetically, because your presence may be the only glimpse of authenticity they'll ever see. And even if they resist it, something in their spirit knows your light sees right through them. Healing is your testimony, not just your escape. So many times we think that walking away from the narcissist is the finish line. We imagine that once we leave, once the arguments stop, once the manipulation ends, then it's over. But the truth is, healing doesn't begin when you walk away. It begins when you wake up, when you stop running from what happened and start learning from it, when you stop defining yourself by the pain and start declaring the purpose. See, escape is about leaving the situation. Testimony is about rising from it. Escape means you got out, but healing means you got whole. And there's a difference, because you can escape and still carry the trauma. You can leave the narcissist and still live in fear, still question your worth, still carry the wounds in silence. But healing transforms the wound into wisdom. It gives your pain a voice, not to replay the hurt, but to reveal the growth. You didn't survive that relationship just to go back to life as usual. You went through it to become someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who knows how to discern toxic patterns, how to honor your boundaries, how to love yourself without permission. The narcissist tried to silence your voice, but now your healing is a megaphone. It's not just your way out, it's your message to the world. People around you need that testimony. Not the pretty, polished version, the real one, the one where you admit that you almost lost yourself, that you cried in secret, that you second-guessed your decisions, compromised your values, shrunk yourself just to keep the peace. And then one day you woke up. You realized you were created for more than surviving someone else's dysfunction. You realized you were not the problem, you were the light they couldn't handle. When you speak that truth, you give others permission to heal too. Your testimony becomes a lighthouse for those still stuck in the storm. You show them that freedom isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and mental. You show them that walking away is just the first step, but walking into healing is where the power really is. Healing is messy. It doesn't come in a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong, other days you'll want to go back. That's okay, that's part of the journey. But every time you choose truth over trauma, every time you choose peace over people-pleasing, every time you choose growth over guilt, you're healing. And that healing is sacred. It's not just for you. It's for your children. It's for your future relationships. It's for the people watching your life who don't even know how much they need to see someone rise out of what they're still stuck in. You were not meant to be a permanent resident pain. You were meant to pass through it, to collect wisdom along the way, and come out with a story that sets others free. What broke you doesn't get the final say, what built you does. And every scar you carry becomes a mark of survival, a signpost that says, God brought me through this. So don't hide your healing. Don't rush past it or minimize it. Own it, speak it, live it. Let it show in how you love yourself now, how you protect your peace, how you don't tolerate what you once excused. Let it show in your choices, in your confidence, in the way you walk into rooms, now no longer seeking validation, but standing in identity. Healing isn't just about leaving the past behind, it's about reclaiming the you that was buried underneath all that pain. And when people see you now, whole and rising, they won't just see someone who escaped. They'll see someone who overcame, someone who carries glory, someone who walked through fire and came out shining. That's the testimony. Not just that you got away, but that you came alive. You're there to grow and go. That's the assignment. That's the reason. That's the bigger picture that pain tries to blur and confusion tries to block. When God places you in a narcissist's life, it's not for you to get comfortable, stuck, or lost. It's for you to evolve, to rise, to discover who you are, and then move forward with power and clarity. Because that place of tension is not your final destination, it's your classroom. God doesn't put you in those spaces just to suffer. He puts you there to see the parts of yourself that needed strengthening, to see the lies you believed about your worth, to see the hidden patterns you've repeated, to see the God within you that doesn't shrink in the face of manipulation, but grows stronger, wiser, and more rooted in truth. You're not there by accident. You're there because there's something in you that had to wake up. There's a version of you that wouldn't have emerged unless the fire got hot, unless the mirror got close, unless the mask fell off the narcissist and revealed exactly what it was you were up against. And yes, it hurt. It shook you. It almost convinced you that love was supposed to feel like performance, silence, fear. But through all of that, something else was happening. You were being stretched. You were being called higher. Every time they tried to twist your words, you learned to stand firmer in truth. Every time they tried to control you, you discovered your voice. Every time they made you feel small, God whispered louder, "You are mine. You are more. You are chosen." Growth doesn't come in the comfort zone. It comes in the breaking, in the pressing, in the long nights where you wrestle with, why am I still here? And what am I supposed to learn from this? And the answer is always this, is you're not here forever. You're here for the growth. You're not meant to lose yourself. You're meant to find the parts of you that never should have been hidden in the first place. There's something holy about realizing you outgrew the dysfunction, that you no longer fit in the mold they tried to force you into, that you don't react to the same triggers, that you don't explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you, that you stop drinking the poison of manipulation just to keep the peace. That's not just growth, that's God moving you, maturing you, preparing you to go. And going doesn't always mean physical distance right away. Sometimes you grow emotionally before you exit physically. Sometimes you start leaving in your heart long before your feet follow. But once you grow, you can't stay the same. You can't keep shrinking. You can't keep second-guessing what you now know to be true. Growth demands movement. And when God says go, it's not to punish you, it's to launch you. It's to take the lessons and the strength and the discernment you've gained and walk into the next chapter fully aware, fully whole, and fully healed. You see, the narcissist was never your forever. They were your wake-up call. They were the pressure that revealed the diamond. They were the test that confirmed your identity. You didn't get stuck, you got strong. You didn't lose, you learned. You didn't break, you were built. Now it's time to go. Not in bitterness, not in fear, not in revenge, but in wisdom, in power, in peace. You're not running, you're releasing. You're not escaping, you're elevating. You're taking your growth and walking into a future that reflects who you really are, not who you had to become just to survive someone else's brokenness. You were there to grow and go. And now that you've grown, nothing can keep you where God's already called you out of. So as you rise from that place head high, heart healed, spirit steady, know this, you were never planted in that storm to stay in it. You were sent to grow through it. And now it's time to go, not just with your bags packed, but with your identity restored. You carry wisdom now. You carry power. You carry testimony. Let your steps be bold, your voice be clear, and your peace be non-negotiable. Because where God is taking you, you won't need to explain what you survived. Your healing will speak louder than your history. Go forward knowing you didn't just leave, you outgrew it.